Hi there guys, I hope you have had a good day. So apparently Dana White is going to be making his move into boxing very soon, and he's got something he's going to announce, which is going to be interesting because we've heard about the fact that he's going to be coming into boxing and moving over from MMA. Obviously he'll still be doing the UFC, but he wants to work on boxing shows as well, which is very interesting and very exciting, especially for young fighters coming up who need an opportunity, or fighters in general who just need an opportunity. So this will be exciting because we'll get more fights and hopefully fights we do want to see. But it has been a while since he said he was going to move into boxing, and there haven't been any further announcements explaining when he will be doing that and what fights he will be putting on. But apparently there is a big event that he's looking to put on and stage for his coming into boxing. Now, we don't know what fighters are going to be involved in that. There was apparently going to be a boxing match between Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao, although Conor McGregor has now signed for a UFC fight. So I'm guessing that fight is off the table at the moment. Maybe that will still go ahead at some point, but it seems for the moment Conor McGregor is going to stick to UFC, and obviously Manny Pacquiao is going to stick to boxing, but Pacquiao has been extremely inactive, so whether he is going to fight again is a question at the moment. Now, what is interesting is Manny Pacquiao has signed to a management company, I believe, that is similar to Conor McGregor, or the same one. So maybe there is some way in which Manny Pacquiao is going to be working with Zuffa Boxing and Dana White. Maybe that's the fight they are looking to announce, considering there were negotiations between Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. Those negotiations would have to be with the UFC as well, I would imagine, because Conor McGregor is likely under contract with the UFC. The same as when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather, because obviously UFC president was a Dana White. Not necessarily Conor McGregor's promoter, but obviously Conor McGregor was contracted with the UFC and therefore had to be granted the permission to go and fight in a boxing match against Floyd Mayweather. That is why Dana White was there, essentially promoting Conor McGregor, and I would imagine the same thing will apply for a Manny Pacquiao fight. That is what is so great about UFC. They are all signed to the UFC, so Conor McGregor, he'll fight whoever they put in front of him. And the same thing with Khabib, anyone else. The fighter they fight is put in there by the UFC. They don't get to pick and choose. Obviously, they can have their preference, but ultimately the best fights happen because they are all signed to the same promoter, essentially. And that means that the big fights, the best fights, the ones they want to see, do happen. I mean, Khabib recently said 30-0 as a UFC star is as impressive as 50-0 for Floyd Mayweather in boxing, which I guess we could dispute, but it is interesting that he said that because the thing is about the UFC is they do fight the toughest fights back to back because that is what they have to do. So it is more difficult probably to go undefeated in UFC, and I think that eventually that O will go because there's just going to be a matchup that is too much. Obviously he's going to be fighting very soon as well. So the UFC are making waves and they have made big events since coming back, but now Dana White wants to transfer some of that into boxing. And hopefully that is good news for boxers and for fight fans because we get better fights, we get the best fighting the best, and I mean, it's not going to be a huge mega event to start with. Obviously he's just going to get his feet wet in the sport of boxing and see what it's all about. And he did say previously that he was looking to build his own belt, his own world title, and have his fighters fight for that. Not recognise any of the governing bodies because they are the things that get in the way of the big fights. That is what he has explained. He won't recognise them. He will look to forge his own belt and make that the World Championship. Whether he still wants to do that at the moment, we don't know. I wouldn't imagine he'd do that straight away, but he will look to have a sanctioned bout very soon in the sport of boxing, making his venture into the sport from UFC. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.